Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today I'll be sharing with you my TBR for February. Alright y'all, so I have been really debating on whether or not I should make TBR videos because I remember, when I was really active in the booktube community, I would make TBR videos, but I would just not really stick to them because I am just such a mood reader that I would not want to read any of the books that I had planned to read on my TBR for the month. So I just was not sure if I should even bother making TBR videos, monthly TBR videos, but we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna try to see if I stick to all of these books and read them all in February. We'll do it anyway. I try to keep my TBRs pretty small though, because I know I'm not one to read a lot of books in a month, so I want to keep it as realistic as I can. So yeah, let's just get into the books that I plan to read and hopefully will read in February. It also doesn't help that February is the shortest month of the year, so I really hope that I can get to all these in February, the shortest month of the year. So first, I'm going to mention my absolute priority read that I have to get to in February. And these are the books that are going to take up the majority of my reading in February because they are thick, they are long, and they are dense. And that is the Empyrean series. The first book is Fourth Wing, the Fourth Wing series. So yeah, I am going to get to all these books. This month, I have read Fourth Wing. I read it last year, but I do need to reread it in order to read the rest of the books in this series. So I do plan to reread Fourth Wing, which I'm really excited because I highly enjoyed Fourth Wing. I did give it 4 stars, mainly because it was a little hard for me to get into, but I think that was mostly because I was not really into reading. When I first picked this up, I was still in a reading slump, so that might be why I struggled to get into it. I have a feeling that when I reread it now, it'll be easier for me to really get invested in it because I am in such a high reading mood right now. So I have a good feeling I'll like it more this time around, and I'm really, really looking forward to getting back into it. I almost don't want to explain what the series is about because I'm sure most of you know. So yeah, I'm gonna reread Fourth Wing, and then for sure, I will get into Iron Flame, which I have not read yet, so this will be my first time reading it, and we'll just see how it goes. I have been hesitant to get into Iron Flame, because I hear it's not as good as Fourth Wing by most people, so I've been a little worried about this one, but still gonna give it a try, of course, and then I will get into Onyx Storm, which I have right here. Just got this one. So yeah, I'll have it on hand when I'm ready to get into it. I think I am going to do a reading vlog of my journey through reading this series, at least the books that are out right now. I think that'll be really fun. So I'm going to do that, and definitely let me know if you guys are interested in seeing it, but I think I'll still do it. I think it'll be fun. So yeah, reading vlog for Fourth Wing will be coming out in the near future. Now, the rest of the books on my TBR I don't own, so I'm going to put pictures on the screen right here. So the next one I have is Unsteady by Peyton Corrine. The second book to this series comes out in February, so I thought it'd be very fitting if I start the first book in February. That way, if I like the first book, I can easily continue on with the next book. This book follows our main hero, and he is an ice skater, I believe, and he has a panic attack on the ice while practicing, and there's this girl who is there watching him. I presume it's like secretly or something. I don't know. But she is watching him, and she's watching him have this panic attack, and she is there to comfort him. And that synopsis just really, really intrigued me. I feel like this is going to be a heart-wrenching read because of the concept of it. So I'm going to get into it soon, but I'll probably hold it off to the latter half of February because I just finished A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole, and that was a tremendously hard book to read emotionally. It just emotionally drained me. So I feel like Unsteady is not the right book to read in the next coming days because I just finished a very emotional book, and I don't want to put myself in such a deep emotional state for several books in a row. So I'm going to hold this book off until like later on in February, but I do want to get to it in February for sure. It sounds really good. Next, I have Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. This is the first book in a series. The third book in the series also comes out in February, so I thought it'd be a great time to read the first book and start this series. I know it follows these two characters, and I think they're serial killers, and it's a romance. So it sounds really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to getting into it. I do have a Book of the Month subscription, and this book is on Book of the Month's catalog, so I think this will be my February Book of the Month pick. So I'm going to get my hands on this really soon, so I should be able to read it in February. And if I like it enough, I will continue on to the rest of the books in this series. I've heard pretty good things about the first book, so I think it's going to be a hit with me. So I have been in the mood for a very dark and gritty romance book, like pretty much a dark romance. I've been really in the mood for one, but I haven't been wanting to pick up the first book in a series because I feel like right now, especially when I'm about to get into the Fourth Wing series, I don't want to pick up another first book in the series and then have to put that series off because I'm in the middle of reading Fourth Wing. So I've been really wanting to read a standalone, and it's very difficult to find dark romance books that are standalone. So I went on Goodreads, looked up some dark romance spicy book standalone lists, and this book came up, and I'm so glad it did because I have been meaning to get to this book for so long. I don't know why I didn't put it in my 2025 TBR video, because this one I've been meaning to get to for ages. And let me tell you what it is. It is Credence by Penelope Douglas. I have been meaning to get to this book for so long. And because I'm like craving a standalone book right now, I am going to get to this one really, really soon. So I'm going to put it on my February TBR because I know I'm going to be in the mood for like a dark romance book. So yeah, this one I'm going to probably get to in February. This one, it's more taboo than dark romance, I think. It follows this girl and she gets involved with her step uncle and step brother, I think. So it is very taboo. So I've been really interested in this one. It gets a lot of mixed reviews, but I think that's just because of the subject matter and content of this book. Like, it's a taboo book, so it's going to get mixed reviews, but it sounds like something I'll be into. So I'm really excited to get into it. So these next three books are all books that are coming out in February. I really want to try to stay on top of new releases as they come out this year, just so that I can recommend the newest books to you guys as soon as possible. So that's something I'm really going to try to do this year. I've no guarantee that I'll get to all these books in February, especially the new releases, but I'm going to try to. So the first one is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Now, in my last video, I did mention that the first book that I wanted to read by Ali Hazelwood was The Love Hypothesis, because I wanted to get to her earlier books first before her newer ones. But because this one is coming out in February and it's a new release and I want to stay on top of new releases, I'm just going to read this one and just have it be my first Ali Hazelwood book. Like, it's not a huge deal. So I'm just going to get into it. This is one I really want to read in February. I know this one follows two swimmers and their relationship and their romance. So it is a sports romance. The concept of it sounds really good, so I'm looking forward to it. Next is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I have heard really good things about people who have gotten art copies of this book, so I really want to give it a try. The concept of this one is that it's about this guy, and he is a talk show radio host who specializes in helping others with their romantic relationships, but apparently he had a bad experience with love recently, so he doesn't believe in love anymore, but he still does this talk show where he gives love advice because he's obligated to. So he's reluctantly doing this talk show, and this girl calls and she is trying to get advice for her mother, who is looking to fall in love. So throughout this book, the talk show host guy is trying to help this girl's mother fall in love with someone, and in the process, the talk show host falls in love with the daughter. So it sounds really cute. I love the concept of it, And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I also love the cover. I love the color scheme going on in this cover with the pinks and the oranges. It is so pretty. And then another book, new release for February that I put on my February TBR is Enchanted to Meet You by Kara Stout. This is the first book in a series. I mainly picked this one out because of the title, because it's so obviously inspired by Enchanted by Taylor Swift. Which I love. I know there's a trend going on right now where a lot of authors are using Taylor Swift lyrics as their book titles, and a lot of people are not into that. A lot of readers are like, why is this a thing? I hate this trend. Me though, I'm so into it. I love it, especially as a Taylor Swift fan. I think it's so freaking awesome. So it's a seller point for me. If your book title includes Taylor Swift lyrics or like a Taylor Swift song as the title, I think that's the coolest thing ever, and I will probably pick that book up. So yeah, that's the main reason why I chose this book to put on my TBR for February. I kind of know a little bit about the synopsis. It sounds like it's an enemies to lovers romance, so I think I'll be into it. We're gonna give it a try. However, I can't tell if this is a new adult, or young adult book. I tried to look it up, but I still don't know. So I guess I'll really be going into this one blindly. So those are all the books that I put on my February TBR. However, for my TBRs, my monthly TBRs, I used to do like a random number generator, and whatever number came up, I would then go to my want to read shelf on Goodreads and put the book that corresponded with that random generated number on my TBR. And I think I'm going to do that again because this really helps me get to a lot of my backlist books and forces me to read them. And I would always put my random number generated TBR picks as my priority reads for the month, so I would have to get to them. So let's just do it. It is super fun. So I'm going to just ask Siri to random number generate a number for me, and we'll look on my Goodreads TBR shelf and see what number corresponds with the book on my shelf. So let's do it. I think it would be helpful if I see how many books are on my Goodreads TBR first before I ask. Let's do that. Okay, so I have 395 books on my TBR shelf on Goodreads, so let's do it. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 395.
That would be 372.
372. Okay, 372. So we're going to have to go pretty far back. This will probably be a book that I've recently put on my Goodreads TBR shelf. Y'all! Book number 372 is Butcher and Blackbird. That is so funny. Oh my god, should I pick again? Because I already plan to read this book in February. That is so freaking funny. Oh my god, let's do it again because I already have this book on my February TBR. It's just like, what are the odds? Out of the 395 books that I have on my Goodreads TBR, what are the odds that it picks a book that I already had planned to put on my TBR for this month? That is so funny. Okay, let's try this again. Pick a number between 1 and 395.
A random number between 1 and 395 is 7.
7. Okay, so this is going to be a book that I've had on my TBR for a really long time, so this is what we want. Let's see. Book number 7 is My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. So yeah, this is a book that I've had on my TBR for years. This is a young adult contemporary romance. And I feel like I've been kind of into young adult contemporary romance lately. And I used to think that was not a genre that I was into anymore. But I've read a lot of young adult romances lately that have been really good. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a try. I've been interested in it for years. I know it follows a girl who is like middle class and the guy is from a richer family. So it has the different social classes romance trope, which I love that trope. So I think I'll be really into this one. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. All right, those are all the books that I plan to hopefully get to in February. Again, no guarantee that I'll get to all of these, but I will definitely pick from these throughout the month of February. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what is on your February TBR. I would love to know. And I'll be back with a new video next week. Bye.